Cell hits you like a mallet to the consciousness.
Dark Side of the Ring is back.
He got brain damage for a wrestling angle on television.
It added to the storyline.
He would have liked to die in the ring.
What come out of Vince's mouth, don't trust it.
It was too controversial for TV.
Holy shit.
With 10 all-new unforgettable episodes.
Believe half what you hear and nothing of what you see.
Dark Side of the Ring. New season premieres Tuesday, March 25th at 10 on Vice.
Dark Side of the Ring is on its way back for a full sixth season. Usually they've done these in parts, haven't they? Where they do like a few episodes, like half the season and then a second half or something like that. 10 episodes right off the bat is fully stacked, fully loaded. And I just love this show. I'm a sucker for a good wrestling documentary, especially the unauthorized ones, because WWE, I don't want to say they're not fully truthful or honest with us, but they may have a little bit of a spin on things compared to way, maybe an impartial journalist might report things. Some bangers here on this list. Hell in a Cell. That's a great idea for a Dark Side. This is one of those things. It's like even when back on season 1, you saw what Dark Side of the Ring was doing, and it's like, okay, but how many of these could there be? How many Dark Side of the Ring, dark stories could be told? Apparently 6 seasons worth, folks. A lot of these are interesting as hell. The Hell in a Cell match, just as a concept, as a match, it looks like it's going to heavily focus on the Foley Undertaker one. But God, that's a hell of a story to tell just in itself because of the brutality of that match, the brutality of the first couple matches. In the concept of it, they can absolutely get a story out of that. It'll be interesting to see if they were able to get the Undertaker. Probably not, is my guess, but they do have Mick. Big Van Vader. And, we've heard the story of the Hell in a Cell a million times, but to hear it in a Dark Side of the Ring from a different, presenter might be interesting to hear. Big Van Vader. I'm not sure what the angle is on the dark part for Vader. I know, Vader he had his eyeball popped out, so I guess I'm sure they'll cover that. He's a big, mean fucker, like painful to be in the ring with. And then the ear with Cactus Jack, looks like if they got Foley for something, for the Hell in a Cell episode, they'll probably have him comment on the ear situation in his match with Vader. Other than that, I'm not sure where they're going to go with that as far as dark. Maybe I'm forgetting something. Leave it in the comments below. Absolutely. If you see me missing something here, but I'm very fascinated with that story. I like Vader as a wrestler, as a character, the big mastodon, the beast. Even I remember him coming into WCW when he came in. I remember the weirdo helmet that smoked. Remember him just beating the dog out of Sting and beating the dog out of, everybody else at Mick Foley. Tony Atlas, I expect this to be all about his foot fetish. If it's not, why are we even watching? Ludwig Borga, again, somebody I'm not as familiar with. Was he related to any... Is he a Soviet? What is his deal? Where is he... I didn't prep before this show, obviously. I think he was an MMA fighter. I don't know what country of origin. He's Eastern European, I believe, just by his look and demeanor. But what did he do that was dark? Was he a hitman of some kind? Did he get caught up in some kind of mob shit? What's his deal? I'm interested to see what's going on there. Again, if you know more than I do, tip me off to it in the comments. I'll be like, thanks, bro. I'll look into that. Billy Jack Haynes, obviously he murdered his wife, so there's a good story there, I'm sure. I almost forgot that, too, by the way. When I first saw Billy Jack Haynes, I'm like, Billy Jack Haynes? What's so Dark Side of the Ring about him? Other than murdering his wife, I don't know. Maybe getting bloodied up at WrestleMania 3 and murdering his wife. That would be my guess. Hot Stuff. I covered that, by the way, and I still forgot about it. Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert. I don't know much about his dark side, but I don't even know much about him as a guy. I remember him as a kid. I must have got, what was it? Global. It must have been Global Championship Wrestling, right? Global Wrestling Federation, one of those two. Forgot the name of it. The one that had like Jeff Jarrett and Jerry the King Lawler and Sean Waltman as the Lightning Kid. And it had Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. And that's the first time I ever seen a fireball. I seen it as a kid. And I think it was Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert burning Jerry Lawler. It might have been Jeff Jarrett. I don't know. Might have been somebody completely different. But I remember the hot stuff was associated with he threw fireballs. And to me, that just intrigued the fuck out of me as a kid. And he was a guy that, I remembered that name ever since. Superstar Billy Graham. Interested to see what stories they tell of him. I don't know much about the tragedies of these people. I'm sure I've heard stories just, off the top of my head. I don't know what's so dark about Superstar Billy Graham's life. Probably a whole lot, though. Probably a whole lot. Daphne's going to get covered here. This one I'm very interested in seeing. Daphne, tragic, took her own life due to depression, obviously, but like harassment and stuff too, bullying. It's going to be an interesting story to hear the details on that. I'm not as familiar, but I'm very into it. I remember Daphne from TNA, and I was a fan of her because I like horror movies and stuff, and she was like the dark, gothic, creepy chick. The original Sheik. This will be a fun one just because he was so violent and brutal. We talked about the fireball. The original Sheik invented the fucking fireball. And then that match where he got burned severely in FMW with tagging up with Sabu. There's definitely a lot there. And then Muhammad Hassan. This one's going to be so fascinating. And this is why, like, when you look like, oh, what kind of, at the beginning, season 1 or whatever, season 2, how many more of these Dark Side of the Rings could they possibly tell? Well, then you don't even, things like Muhammad Hassan don't even occur to you necessarily. But, like, that was a pretty dark thing. Like, just the character in itself was dark because it was based on the social fear of Muslims over terrorist attacks. We were engaged, fresh off of 9/11. We're fighting the wars over in the Middle East. The terrorists are our enemies. George Bush, you saw a terrorist under every fucking rock that you wanted to go invade and bomb them and stuff. It was a dark time to begin with, and to make a character based on that, and for his gimmick to not be against American, but to be against Americans because the Americans are against him because of his race and culture. It was a fascinating character, but he picked up incredible heat. I remember that run fondly. He picked up incredible heat very quickly. And then it was snuffed out quick when I believe, the TV network caught a whiff of Hassan doing the neck cut thing or whatever. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's too much. We can't have that on TV no more. And Muhammad Hassan, short of putting him in a mask, he had such an impact on the business that you couldn't repackage him as, the Italian guy or something like that, which he is, by the way. He's Italian. He's not even Muslim. There was just nothing they could do with him at that point. People would have recognized him as Muhammad Hassan. That character really got over. It would have been nice for them to not take that off TV, to cool it down, to get away from that kind of stuff. Maybe even turn him babyface and keep him on TV somehow and turn him into maybe more of a Mustafa Ali type figure where he's, I don't know. He's speaking out a voice for the voiceless kind of thing, speaking up against oppression, that kind of stuff, but in a babyface way. I don't know. I mean, that was a tough break for Hassan, and just a great example of how nuclear heat can sometimes kill a career. That is the perfect example. Sergeant Slaughter was facing that when he was turned in, was the Iraqi sympathizer and stuff. Man, did he have heat But Muhammad Hassan had heat, brother. So much so that it killed his career. So I'm excited to see that tale be told. And just sort of the steps and the Vince backstage and what Vince was pushing him to do and what the reactions to things were. I love that scene at WrestleMania, that whole segment where Eugene came out and Muhammad Hassan started beating up Eugene and putting him down. Then the Hulkster came out and beat the shit out of Muhammad. That was a hell of a moment at WrestleMania 21. Good shit. But we'll wrap this up here. I'm excited to see these. I wonder what you guys think. What episodes specifically are you excited for? I think for me, it's Muhammad Hassan, it's Daphne, and probably those two will be the two big ones for me. But I'm gonna watch them all. Love to know your thoughts. Leave them in the comments below. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes. And also, if you can think of any possible Dark Side of the Ring stories that have not been told yet, that would be an interesting conversation starter in the comments as well. And for now, we will catch you in the next video. Ooh, yeah. Thanks for checking out the video. You can check out more great clips by hitting that subscribe button below. Yeah. While you're there, don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Ooh, yeah. Did it.